Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're going to do a more in-depth look at Black Widow with her new uniform in the APK. Keep in mind, everything is not final, so hopefully things will change. Hopefully dimension missions will go back to the way they were. Hopefully tons of new and better rewards will be added to Shadowland, and other surprises await us. Hopefully, we're all praying that the patch notes are not what the APK is showing us thus far. But in the meantime, we do have more information a la Black Widow, and as a bonus, I'm going to be throwing in some comparison between Black Widow and Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier was added 2 updates ago as another speed tier 3, also sort of a soldier, also a hero, also, 800 CCF, so they're very, very similar, the only difference being female versus male. But a lot of people were disappointed with Winter Soldier. Oh, and they have the exact same tier 3. One of them is a motorcycle into a helicopter, the other one is a sniper into a helicopter. So, if you weren't disenchanted with Marvel Future Fight and Netmarble Monster enough, they are now recycling tier 3 skills. Plus, a lot of you guys pointed out, and I didn't sort of make the connection in my head when I was thinking about it, but they absolutely 100% need to change Black Widow's tier 2 passive. It's giving her increased lightning damage, and she doesn't deal lightning damage anymore. Now, she does deal lightning damage with her other uniforms, but that's not really the point. She only ever dealt lightning damage on 2 skills, so they really need to realize that this is useless, and they need to give her a different passive. So what I would suggest that they do is get rid of the lightning damage and bump up her guaranteed dodge, or get rid of the lightning damage and give her, maybe give her the crit rate and the crit damage back that you took off of her other uniforms, or maybe give her some more ignore dodge, give her some HP, maybe give her like Invisible Woman in Spider-Man 2099. When she gets hit, there's like a 30% chance that she triggers a 2-second invisibility with like a 5-second cooldown or whatever, sort of like a spy maneuver. Anyways, they absolutely need to update her tier 2 passive, because they've ruined 1/3 of it. They've made 1/3 of her tier 2 passive completely 100% useless. So that's kind of weird. It would be the same thing as, let's say, looking at someone who has a tier 2 passive, like, let's say, Cable. And his tier 2 passive gives him guaranteed crit rate and... Okay, no, that's a bad example. Take someone like... In my head, I was thinking Punisher. So, take Punisher, for example. It would be like they gave him a skill that gave him 100% ignore dodge for 10 seconds. Then his ignore dodge, his 35% ignore dodge on one-man army would be useless. So, yeah. It's actually worse than that, because they took something away instead of giving something to Black Widow. But yeah, so they absolutely need to update Tactical Advantage. But I say this knowing full well that it could be months before they update Black Widow. They honestly don't care about things like this. They just care about making money and putting out, we know how it's been lately. We gotta beg them for weeks for them to change one small thing. I'll have you know, however, this is kind of taking a turn as a rant video, but they did update, finally, guys. They did update Wolverine's House of X advancement. Yeah, I know. But now there's no sound. So we had the sound and no video. Now we have the video and no audio. So listen, with Marvel Future Fight, it's like, is there one we think there's only one staff working on the game, but then you look at the thank you video and there's like 20 people. So I don't know what those 20 people are up to, but it's certainly not fixing this game, because it's literally take with one hand, give with the other. It's never give, it's always give and take. So that's strange as hell. Anyways, as far as Black Widow goes, let's get back to the actual review here. She looks great. Again, the art team does a fantastic job. Once again, very, very high quality model here. Doesn't necessarily look too much like Scarlett Johansson, but that's okay. I don't think anybody cares about that. Her hair floats a little bit unnaturally, but I'm not gonna nitpick that. The rest of it looks nice, shiny, some good details with the gold. The Widow's Bite thing is a little bit flat. It would be nice if there was a little bit more dimension to that, and you can see it actually floats on her arm as well. But yeah, she's got the pistol sidearms. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice as far as the uniform goes. As far as the build goes, it's the same as before. Oh no, she has a lightning damage 180 proc. Okay, this is a problem, because in my comparison with Winter Soldier, he has a CTP of energy, as you can see right there. So I'm going to have to go and fetch another CTP of energy here. Okay, give me that. This is what I use my crystals for, guys. They didn't give us many, but we got to make use of them carefully. There we go. So yeah, we got a CTP of energy. We've got the Mythic Uniform. We've got Power of Angry Hulk. We've got the Uru here. And she is at 163 with everything else capped. Very, very similar, as you will see, to Winter Soldier, Mythic Uniform, CTP of Energy, Power of Angry Hulk. Uru, and then pretty much capped. He's got a little bit more crit damage and crit rate, but that's just a product of, I don't know, his uniform? I'm not really sure where he's getting those extra stats from, but yeah. Anywho, let's jump into some content now with Black Widow and see how she plays. Really quickly before we do that, I just want to point out that when I was in the minor league for squad battle, I was getting 5 as a daily reward for the, what's this called? Mandalay gem fragments, and now it has gone up to 6. So it going up to 6 leads me to believe that it's going to keep going up, which means that you should get 7 per day from silver, 8 per day from gold, 9 per day from platinum, and then 10 per day from, cannot press that button, 10 per day from vibranium. So getting 10 per day is an extra 300 per month, plus the league reward of 140 is almost 500. I think that's good enough, in my opinion. They could still add a little bit of Mandalay gem fragments to another game mode like World Event, but it would have to be in a very small increment, like 5. But I think 10 per day is good. However, you have to get to vibranium, so that is definitely going to be a challenge for some players, but that is a good way of rewarding. You know, if you're in bronze and you don't play, you're getting half as much per day as I am. That's a fair, you know, that's fair. I should get twice as much as you because I worked my way all the way up to vibranium, and you would assume that, you know, vibranium is the top 20% of platinum, which is the top 20% of gold, which is the top 20% of silver, which is the top 20% of bronze. Right? Now, you can get unlucky. There is a bit of RNG involved here because you can get unlucky and get really strong players, for example, in Platinum. Like, you could get a bunch of ABX players just, you know, ran by the luck of the draw, and then you could get bumped out of the top 20, or you could get another week where you get really lucky and you get a bunch of players who aren't as competitive, and so the average score fluctuates. So it's interesting that there's some RNG involved, but it's player-driven RNG. It's not Netmarble Monster. It's not, you know, their sort of shadow hand RNG involved. So I actually like that, and I'm actually happy to see that they did scale the rewards to the point where, you know, you're in bronze, you're getting 5. I'm in vibranium or platinum, I'm getting 9 or 10 per day. That is a substantial increase. It's literally double, right? So over the course of a month, you only get 150. I get 300. You start to see, you know, over time, over months, I'm gonna be able to awaken a lot more characters than you. Now, what we need those awakened characters for right now? Not really very much, right? Very, very high level Shadowland, squad battle itself, and maybe some ABX. But otherwise, there's really not much competitive push for awakened characters. Anyways, back to the Black Widow review. Now, poor Proxima always getting beat down by me in these testings. We're going to be going with Goliath's 45% physical attack, if I could speak English. And then we've got Wave there for the... we didn't proc, really? For the increased damage against supervillains. Now, you're going to see that her damage compared to yesterday is probably going to be a lot higher. The reason for that is the fact that... Oh, we think we missed our proc. She's got a CTP of energy now, so that chain hit damage is going to be, you know, synergizing. The targeting is nice, though. It seems like it targeted even though she was quite far away. But I think you got to follow up 5 with 4, because otherwise... I took a lot of damage there. But it seems like she does quite a bit of damage. Not bad, not bad. We're going to compare this to Winter Soldier. I feel like she's going to end up being just an easier Winter Soldier. Easier in the sense that she's easier to play. Possibly better in the sense that she, you know, doesn't rely on all defense down to get her damage off. So whatever damage you're seeing here from her will only be further amplified. You can see there that no matter how far Proxima goes, Black Widow does target her with the tier 3 skill. So I actually do like that. I love skills that have, you know, strong targeting. She actually doesn't seem too bad to keep the proc on the CTP. Not bad, not bad. I'm actually kind of liking this. It's a lot of sniping stuff and stuff like that, but I like the tier 3 skill. I like the missiles. There's definitely a delay in the damage, as you can see there. And then there's another burst, but it seems like most of the damage is going to happen at the beginning. So the damage is sort of front-loaded. Yeah, she bounces around a lot. It's kind of nice, just kind of flipping and spinning and stuff. They did really capture the essence of a. They did really. You feel like you're a spy, you know, like you're spinning and kicking. I wasn't really a big fan of Black Widow like jumping up and doing this massive lightning spike like she used to do with her old coup de grace, or however you say it, coup de grace, 5th skill. So I kind of like this more, and I like that the lightning sort of rains down. Oh, I'm dead. I like it. I like it. It's growing on me a little bit. Okay, let's compare it now to Winter Soldier. I can't really hide my disdain for Winter Soldier personally. Now, this is not the best team up because, of course, he can use his own leadership. So that is something to consider. Winter Soldier does gain points over Black Widow for having a self-buffing leadership. So he's only getting an extra 15% from his leadership versus Goliath. I don't really like Winter Soldier. I think he's overrated. I think his PvP value nowadays, even at tier 3, is basically 0. So I don't really accept the argument that he's better for PvP. You know what? Black Widow might be better for PvP now. We don't know. But I know that after Winter Soldier got his tier 3, nobody saw him in PvP. And the difference with Winter Soldier is you have to get the accumulation. Without the accumulation, he's nothing. Now, with the accumulation, obviously, he hits quite hard. But it's such a risky game of hit me. And the 5-4 combo is just... It is hard to pull off. Regardless of what people tell you, it is hard to pull off. I'm going to just pop the tier 3 skill here. Now, he's probably going to do more damage than Black Widow. Don't let this fool you, though. He's doing more damage. I think he's about 15 seconds ahead of her right now. He's doing more damage because he has all defense down on his 5th skill. Now, that might make him better for the new situation with strikers because all defense down is affected by the resistance. So for players with lower resistance, Winter Soldier might end up being a better option for you. This is with the accumulation, this tier 3 skill. So yeah, with players with low resistance, he might be a better option for you. But if you can use defense down strikers, or if you want to play content other than World Boss, for example, GBR, Winter Soldier is terrible for GBR. He has no damage. He cannot solo. War Tiger can solo GBR. Winter Soldier can't. So his damage is low when you take away the all defense down. But as you can see here, he's quite a bit faster than she is when you can get the accumulation, and when you don't get stunned, and when you get hit to accumulate. So with the accumulation and with sort of perfect gameplay, he is going to deal more damage than her. I think he has a higher cap, but as you can see, it's all... Okay, I killed her. It's all in the tier 3 skill. So I think it's an interesting comparison. I think Winter Soldier is, heavy emphasis on sort of perfect gameplay and a bit of luck splashed in there for the accumulation and not dying. He's definitely squishier than Black Widow. I mean, Black Widow's got more iframes. She's got 6 seconds of immunity. He's got, 4 seconds of immunity? 4.5. And he's got no iframes except on 4. So 1 iframe and 5 seconds of immunity versus multiple iframes and 6 seconds of immunity. She also has penetration, which could be good for PvP. She's got the 100% ignore dodge, which is the same as Winter Soldier's 4th skill with sharpshooter. But yeah, the paralysis also is good. Let me just quickly check what skill she does as a striker, because that could be that could add to her value, because Black Widow is probably... No, she's definitely the strongest ignore dodge striker in the game. So ignore dodge is really important for Corvus and Quicksilver World Boss, but almost all of the characters, as you can see here, they're just trash, right? Like, look at this list of characters that Netmarble has never buffed. Okay, Mockingbird, Agent 13, Deathlock, Songbird, Misty Knight, Kate Bishop, Nadia Van Dyne Wasp, and Agent Venom. So she is by far the best ignore dodge striker, like by a large margin. And she does her 5th skill, so that's actually really good. That's a really high DPS skill. So she could actually make your runs on Corvus, especially if you are almost, you're almost there. You just need a little bit more DPS. She's going to add a lot to you. So I think that does, increase her value. I think overall, if you were to ask me right now, I would choose Black Widow over Winter Soldier, just because I prefer characters that are easier to play. Not only for me, but I'm considering people that have lower end devices, more lag, people who can't press the buttons as fast, people who are just not as skilled at the game. They haven't been playing for 5 years, for 4 hours a day like I have. They're not sweaty tryhards. So I would choose Black Widow over Winter Soldier because she's easier to play, and she still seems to have reasonably high DPS, which does benefit her in other game modes where all defense down is not available and not allowed, like squad battle as well. But if you want sort of maximum World Boss nuking potential, I think Winter Soldier might be better if you can play perfectly, get the accumulation, and you can pop that Pursuer's Instinct skill. Also, the motorcycle is pretty cool. No shade on Winter Soldier. I have to say, I am saying that I have a bias towards, or towards anyone who's not Winter Soldier, I guess. I have a bias against Winter Soldier a little bit, but I do think he does have some value over Black Widow in certain circumstances. And he still has the ignore iframe, which is always meta, but he needs a massive overhaul to his skills because he's just way too squishy. If they add some iframes, if they add a heal or something like that, he could really come back full force for new content if you're expecting something for, like, you know, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Disney Plus show. But in the meantime, I think Baby Cakes takes the cake. You like that? A little bit of perv for you. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of Black Widow and the comparison to Winter Soldier and the squad battle rewards. Is it enough? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't point at the camera too much. Take care.